Agatha took the trinkets we collected and added them to her frost tonic. She had the family she always wanted, and nothing was going to stop that. Not even time itself.
That doesn't sound good.
That night, we couldn't wait to see if our new feelings would shatter the spell holding us in.
I don't know what to say. I thought it would work.
So did I. It's just a stupid spell.
Graham.
Wait, niece! Come back!
I had no idea what to do next. I was at a loss for words. And then over the balcony, I heard...
Hop 1, hop 12. Tiny biscuits, don't fail me now. Hey, tower, watch the cape. No, seriously, watch it. Doesn't it flow nicely in the wind? Whisper is terrified, but Whisper has learned to repress his feelings.
Is that a good thing, Whisper? Never change.
King Graham, are you ready to seek adventure? Whoa, get a load of those arms. You look like Whisper feels.
That's flattering, but inappropriate.
Seriously, it's called Arm Day. You look like you've been on an arm decade.
Hey, Whisper, that's enough. There's more to this princess than a sterling physique.
Good.
Princess?
Oh, long story. Did you scale this tower looking for the love of your life, too?
What? No! I was sent to rescue you. Wait, there are ladies? I wasn't informed about any ladies. How does my name look?
Well, I appreciate the thought, but I don't need rescuing. I'm doing just fine on my own, thank you. You didn't bring any adventuring rope, did you?
Adventuring rope?
Looks like you're stuck up here with us, then. Might as well pull up a chair. And try to keep it down. The others are sleeping.
Whisper shall. Whisper.
I filled Whisper in on the mess I had gotten myself into. After talking a lot about himself, he gave me really bad advice, like...
Well, why can't you just have 2 queens?
No.
And
Are you sure they don't know Whisper?
after a while, he decided that the best thing we could do was write down how I felt in a love poem of sorts.
Okay, let's begin. First, I'll need a verb.
Anyway, welcome back. Hello.
Look.
An adjective.
Lovely.
And an animal.
Rich Troll's not an animal. Werebear's not technically an animal. Well, I guess technically it is, but also isn't. It's a very weird gray area.
Wild Snoot.
A part of the body. Ooh, cheeky.
Eyes.
And your favorite cheese.
Might as well be honest about this one.
Cheddar.
Let's see here. Uh-huh. Yep, that should do it. Here you go.
Our love looks like a lovely wild snoot. And your eyes are like cheddar. Love, Graham. That doesn't sound too romantic.
Perhaps it needs some work. I'll leave it here so you can edit it to your liking.
Thanks.
Oh, and a special rabbit sent this. Someone must be looking out for you.
Thanks.
Whisper's lips will whisper nothing more.
You know, your whispering voice is louder than your normal voice, right?
That's an exaggeration on your part, and you know it.
It probably is.
You're waking everybody up.
My whisper voice wouldn't wake a baby.
Someone's coming.
Whisper should hide. If the ladies see Whisper, Graham won't stand a chance.
Good idea.
Whisper shall hide over the balcony.
Wait, no,
What?
don't. How did you... I thought only true love is allowed to freely leave this tower.
Whisper truly loves Whisper.
Oh, figures. Only Whisper could love himself enough to break the spell.
Whisper will leave you to it, Graham. Good luck. I'll write.
Good for you. Learn to love yourself for who you are, Whisper. That's really good character development. So we have a lot to talk about the scenes that just happened. For one thing, if you were playing a Brave run and you decided to go to Amaya instead of, say, for example, Acorn or the Fays, you would get a little bit of extra dialogue there, because in that scene with Amaya, Graham notices that Amaya is sharpening Whisper's boots. She denies they have any sort of connection. She says he's just a friend. But this is a chapter all about love and romance, after all. And of course, the special rabbit, per Whisper's dialogue, is Amaya. Graham already knows that they're together. Why they are hiding it, I have no idea. Graham doesn't strike me as a person who would tell his knights, no, you cannot date commoners, just do your job. I imagine so long as he doesn't get away in your work, he doesn't really care who you love. But also, even though this is my favorite chapter, it's just a stupid spell is my least favorite line in the entire game. Yes, that is in contrast with everything else that he says in the future and in the past. It's just a stupid spell, I know. I get it. Graham is saying that in the context of he's despairing. We're at our darkest hour. We thought this would work. But by saying that, when by everyone's perception up until this point, up until the moment that we saw that Whisper can get through the barrier himself, by having learned to love himself, up until this point, everyone thought that the barrier could only be broken by romantic love, or at least that was the assumption. So by saying that, he essentially is saying, maybe our romance isn't what we thought it was. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was a brief fling and nothing more. Maybe we don't carry those feelings, actually. So is it any wonder that Nice or V runs away crying? So yeah, she has every right to be upset. And as for this awkward love poem, Whisper says that you can add it to your liking. Unfortunately, that was cut. And I'm so sad that was cut. Because it is very, very awkward. It is a very weird love poem. And it's not gonna really like attract anybody. It's not gonna make anybody feel better about their lives. And I believe also you originally were also able to take it up to V, up to Nice. But she would hand it back to you and say, that was very lovely, but I think someone else might need it more. Anything else? Oh! Speaking of, that clock piece. It's kind of weird and never really explained why in the world Amaya has that. Like, does that mean that she was a former princess? Does that mean she has an involvement with the Hagatha? With Hagatha at some point? We just simply don't know. We just don't know. And we probably never will. Some people theorize that she was perhaps a lost princess that escaped. Some people theorize that, well, maybe Hagatha is like her mom or like her ancestor at some point. Because she is a fairly old lady. Because Hagatha is a fairly old lady. Who knows? And maybe someone did try to romance Hagatha briefly, had a child with her, and they managed to escape with that child and left her behind. For whatever reason. It could also be that could have been happened to one of Amaya's ancestors, too. One of Amaya's ancestors very well could have been a noble or a princess, or at least someone that Hagatha mistakenly believed was a princess, and she managed to escape and pass down that clock piece. I'm not sure why nor she would take the clock piece, though. Maybe as a way, maybe as vengeance, maybe as a way to lock something away that Hag doesn't want. We just simply don't know. Maybe just like a keepsake. We don't know. And speaking of Hagatha, let's continue down this line of thought right now. But before I do that, hang on, one moment. There is one more line from the transcript that I do want to read out to you. Let's see, where is it? Found it! Here's a rather interesting line. It was then that I realized the image I saw in the magic mirror was only a suggestion, not my fate. Going to marry one of the princesses, it will be our choice together, and our choice alone. And what's also interesting is originally, according to this transcript, there was originally, I believe, going to be a scene for both of the princesses to kiss you. We always saw what we saw with Nice, but even if you didn't favor her, you would still kiss her anyway. Same with V. And depending, I assume, on your affinity and how you've been treating her, you would get either the really romantic scene, like what we just saw, or you would get a more awkward scene. And they would be able to tell that things are a little bit off, things are a little bit awkward. Gran might even be a little bit disgusted and say, ugh, that was like kissing my sister, you know? And they would actually acknowledge the music, too. And also, there was originally also going to be a puzzle, actually, to get to these lower floors up here, down here. As in, floors, not floor. Which implies to me that there's more than one floor here. There's Hagatha's room, there's the princess's room, and that's it. That's pretty much all that we see, aside from the magical laboratory. And according to a transcript, it was like going to be a mechanical puzzle in order to get to the lower floors. Or it was going to be like some sort of storybook that you had to resolve. I don't know how exactly you would differentiate that. Would there be like a differentiation between who you'd be favoring, and that's the kind of puzzle that you would do? Or would you have both? Or what would happen if you switched at some point? Well, but would you have to go through the puzzle every single time in order to get down to the lower floors again? I honestly don't know, but it is an interesting idea. And the fact that they specify lower floors implies to me that there is more to this tower than you would think, which makes sense given how tall this thing is. I mean, only go to like 2 to 3 places. So, like for example, as I'm sure you noticed, when we were climbing the tower at the very start of this chapter, there was like little windows and such boarded up, and a little door little doors that we see near the balcony, those might have led to those lower floors. So that's all very interesting. So, there we go. Hmm, 540. Okay. Not that. I think we need a little bit of help. Whatever stands in front of it looks younger. Ah, there we go. Oh.
She ran off to get away from them, didn't she?
She did. Agatha's parents did not treat her the way a princess should be treated. They saw her powers as a threat to their kingdom, so they locked her away in a tower and threw away the key.
So, all she really wanted was a family?
We had that in common.
Yeah. That kind of puts everything she's doing in perspective. If you grow up with a family who doesn't love you, and you finally find someone that you do admire, that you do care for, would you really want them to leave you? Especially after so long? We don't know how long Hagrid's been doing this, but I can assume for a very, very long time. And I assume what's been happening is that she ran away, ended up in another tower, this tower, in fact. And the only way to break it, to break down the barrier once she was done, once she was up here, was to find love herself. She thought, okay, that's fine. I'm a princess. I can do this. But any people who might have favored her ended up not favoring her. Because that's not how reality works. That's not even how fairy tales work, after all. Fairy tales are very, very simple. But this is no fairy tale. They want something more. They want something different. So, eventually, she took to those potions, those Cosmolotion potions, in order to change herself. Maybe if I change up my hair. Maybe if I change up my face, my proportions. Maybe if I give myself a beautiful voice. Maybe if I just grow in my power and my magical powers. Maybe then someone will love me. But of course, stacking all those effects is going to backfire eventually. Hester does mention that potions, when they're made, always backfire. And if they're not backfiring, then they weren't working it right. Making it right, but that's only when you're making them, not the final result. The final result should probably be nice and clean. Right? And of course, they backfire eventually, because you're stacking too many stats effects, basically. You're stacking too many illusions. on yourself. And she's probably growing older, too. So she's probably doing that in order to hide away, like, her wrinkles or gray hair or something. And of course, no prince is going to love that. Or at least that's how she's been raised. And so she turns eventually into a witch. Into a hag named Hagatha. And so she's been trapped up here for who knows how long, and she's been kidnapping other princesses in order to make sure that she has a chance of actually being rescued alongside them. Maybe she's hoping for multiple people to come by. But over the years, she's been kidnapping princesses, but they've always run off with other people. They've always been rescued, while she's been left alone and seen only as the evil witch that keeps her kidnapped, that keeps kidnapping people. It's incredibly sad. It's sympathetic. And she's not really doing harm to them. It's not like she's draining the life out of them in order to keep her youth. That probably would have been like a rumor or something, but that's clearly not the case. And I find this interesting. I find this an interesting little twist. The fact that Hagatha is arguably an antagonist, but she's not a villain. She's not evil. She's just sad. She just wants someone to love her. And what we actually got, I think is actually better than what originally was going to be planned out. Because according to a transcript, hang on, let me find this again. Oh, I just found this, actually. There's actually an alternate version of the tale that Graham tells, actually. Once upon a time, a beautiful princess tucked herself away in a tower, impatiently waiting for a charming prince to come rescue her. The months turned to years, and no prince ever came to rescue her after a happy ending. Over time, the princess's looks began to fade, as looks tend to do. She began experimenting with sorcery, obsessed with using magic to change her appearance. Perhaps as she was younger and more beautiful, a prince would rescue her. Years of appearance-changing potions eventually took their toll and backfired, turning the princess into a soggy hag with a floppy tail. Hag grew bitter and mad. She could not have her happy ending, and no princess. She set out to capture them all, keeping them safe from such ridiculous dreams. Aha! Found it! Found what I was actually looking for. There's actually alternate dialogue in the transcript, for the line about Hagatha's parents. Actually, he did. Hagatha's parents did not treat her the way a princess should be treated. They saw her powers as a threat to their kingdom. So they sent her to her room and threw away the key. Another one. She was not. She was a farmer's daughter who hated her average life and her average family. She envisioned a different life, going to balls, hanging with royals, wearing evening gowns, and living at the idealistic princess lifestyle. She was a daydreamer who wandered in that tower, waiting for a fantasy to seek her out, but never going after her own adventure. She became obsessed with fairy tale endings and never wanted to put in the work. Well, that's all rather interesting. Those are interesting little alternate versions of Hagatha's backstory. I am actually glad the fact that we got the one that we got in game, though, because I feel like sending her to her room is too little of a punishment for the story. But I also feel like having her revealed to not be a princess and having her revealed to just be an average farmer's daughter who just wanders into this tower and just doesn't want to put in the work? I don't know. That just makes her feel less sympathetic. Like, that makes her feel very selfish, actually. So, I'm kind of glad that we got the more tragic version of this. As cruel as that may sound, coming from me. Anyway, let us continue.
A knock. From the inside, has a pretty princess joined me all the way down here?
I have.
Have you brought a gift? Quote, princesses must always bring a gift to those they visit. Unquote.
Right, a gift. Let me get right on that.
And the reveal that she herself was a princess, and probably a very, very old-fashioned one, I feel works well too. He was raised in a very different environment from our dear princesses upstairs. He was raised with... That's right, dear. A good princess keeps her thoughts on the inside, just like we practiced. He was raised to be elegant, and to do princess moves while dancing. You always have gifts to those they visit. He was raised basically to wear a mask, if you will, to never really express herself, to never really say her thoughts out loud. I cannot imagine that kind of pressure, especially as royalty. And to an extent, I understand. Because that will teach you maturity. But at the same time, if you stifle who you are as a royal, then who are you exactly? What about when you're alone? And you can finally be with those that you love, alone and not in court. Who are you then? Who do you want to be? Remember why you're here.
What do you think about this gift?
Oh. My. I'm sorry. This looks like a wonderful gift, but it's not.
Hagatha, you can stop the charade. I know.
You know what, beautiful?
I know all about who you are, and why we're here.
Do you like tea? Perhaps we should come inside.
Inside? Inside is the problem. You've locked us all away inside. You've... What do you have cooking in here?
Oh, that? That's nothing. Pay that no mind.
Listen, there's a giant world out there, and it may not be safe, and it may not be perfect, but it's real. And it's about time you experienced it.
Oh, I'm locked away by the power of this tower too, Princess. No one ever loved me enough to save me from its enchantment.
That's nonsense. You don't need anyone else. I can't believe I'm going to quote Whisper, but you need to...
This is a chapter all about romance, yes, but it's also a chapter about love in general. Not just romantic, but also friendship and learning to love yourself. And that's important, I feel, because they could have just done romantic love, having the answer, being the answer to everything, but they didn't. And they focus on other different kinds of relationships too. You have the loving marriages of Bramble and Wenty, and Chester and Muriel, who are very, very old but still very much in love. We have Amaya and Whisper and whatever they have going on. We have Graham and V and Niece and their budding relationship. We have Hagatha, who's stewed in her rejection and has fallen into bad habits. We have arguably even Kyle and Larry have something going on, because there was that reaction from Larry at the very start where he seemed to not necessarily like the idea of Kyle not being his loyal steed anymore. And considering the fact this is brought up in the romance chapter, in the chapter based around love, they could be just best friends. They could even be related. They could be brothers. They could be brothers. They could be uncle and nephew. They could be father and son. We don't know. But considering the heavy emphasis on romance, maybe they are a couple. Who knows? And also, there's also Acorn and Madeline, too. And whatever relationship they have. It might be perhaps courtly love. A love that can never truly blossom into full-blown romance, at least not publicly. But perhaps he dedicates himself to her as her loyal knight. This is a very, very good chapter for showing off all different sorts of love, and I absolutely love it. As I'm sure you can tell. It's my favorite chapter for a very good reason.
Love yourself. You don't need anyone to rescue you. You can escape this tower by yourself.
Oh, I'm not ready for all that.
Go on. It's time.
Perhaps some words of encouragement would help.
Yes.
Your self-esteem must be very, very low if you think this is pretty.
Oh, I've never heard kinder, sweeter words spoken about me. Well, I have to be careful not to cry, as my skin will dry out. You are indeed a good princess.
Do you want to step outside?
I just might.
You got this, girlfriend.
Oh, Sarge. I guess I'm not quite ready to leave yet. I should...
Let's do it together.
What?
Princess Hagatha, would you take my hand?
I would love to.
Empathy is a form of love, too.
Thanks, Princess Graham. Or should I say, King Graham. You brought back a young soul to a very old woman.
Uh-oh!
Graham, the frost tonic.
The what?
You have to stop it.
Is it supposed to do that?
They're still trapped inside.
Yeah, take my adventuring route.
Thanks! Okay. Let's do this.
Look out!
Okay, let's do this. First try, let's go! Oh dear. Oh.
You're both going to have to jump!
The spell is unbroken! Niece! Watch out! It worked? It worked!
With a love and sacrifice, too.
Wait! V!
Power of friendship! Love conquers all! In its many, many facets. Let's get out of here! God, what a good chapter.
It's Valanice, by the way. My full name is Princess Valanice of Western Kalima.
He does blow my mind. That's so cute. Comes at what cost?
And
Why
then
hide it?
you and Grandma Niece lived happily ever after.
Well, we got to know each other a little better before I proposed again.
Good.
Lucky for me, I got a yes on the second time, and we've lived happily most of the time.
Good.
A loving marriage is worth all the hard work that goes into it. And that's no fairy tale.
Oh, that looks delicious.
All right, you can come in now.
Oh, it smells delightful in here.
Our table is ready, dear.
You know, I've always loved this restaurant.
Happy birthday, niece.
Is that... Is that...
It is.
I thought it only worked with stew.
Well, I rigged it to work with pancakes.
Wow.
Oh, what else could it do? Strawberry juice? Custard toast? Bacon-berry pie?
I thought with
Ooh.
breakfast. What about spring and roast, hazelnut chowder, deviled eggs, popcorn flavored jelly beans?
Yes.
I have never been more in love with you than I am in this very moment.
Good for you.
Aha, Gwendolyn must be ready with her surprise. Come in, sweetheart.
Happy birthday, Grandma Niece.
Well, thank you. I wonder what it could be.
Open it. Open it.
Oh, my. You made this?
Sure did.
I haven't had one of these in years. and such lovely colors. How did you know?
A little squirrel told me.
Well, it's just perfect. I love it.
The lute is not the real present.
May I?
Sure. Oh. Oh, dear. I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Grandma. Just listen.
This is my favorite birthday ever.
Hmm?
Well, how do I look? Very old.
Owens, Chapter 3. My favorite chapter. If you were favoring more so V, you would have a little music box instead. And if you didn't necessarily do all the favorable options for your lady, you did get slightly different dialogue at the end at the ending, actually. It's still a happy ending, of course, but it's just a little bit different, a little variation. And I know for a fact this is not in the trans. I know for a fact this is not just strictly transcript stuff because I've actually gotten this ending before. Say for example, Gwendolyn gives her the lute. Instead of having Gwendolyn play at the end, Niece would just tell her, for example, now run along and make sure that we share all these pancakes with everyone else. Don't forget the syrup. Oh, syrup. That reminds me. I tell you about the time that Royal Guard number 2 tried to propose to Royal Guard number 3. It's a cute little variation on his ending. I suspect that V would have similar dialogue as well instead of doing the music box, because in her ending, it's actually a puzzle box disguised as a music box, or rather, it's a music box disguised as a puzzle box that they resolve together. I kind of wish that there was a puzzle for that, but the cutscene itself is very cute. And the achievement you get for romancing Niece over V is Harmonious Husband, and for V is Perfect Puzzle Partner. Both very cute achievement names. And now, let's watch the crowds again. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. Next time, we follow up my favorite chapter with everyone else's least favorite. But I actually have my own defenses of this chapter. It is not a perfect chapter. There are definitely some things that I wish had been added back in per the transcript that we got. But I don't think this chapter is as bad as everyone says that it is.